no, I got to lean in.
Happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome back. You know, we ain't been here in a while, at least for this show. I guess he probably couldn't hear us, huh? Can you hear me, Chad? Let me
Antonio,
make sure.
I can hear you just fine. I don't know what Antonio got going on over there.
Are you say he giving low budget or something? You're not
It's
saying.
giving a little low budget because clicked out the first time before we started, so it just did it again. So
Dang,
hopefully he get that together. But yeah, it's giving a little low budget.
that's unfortunate. I would love to not believe that, but Chad, let me ask him. Antonio, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can now.
Chad just said, and people can comments can agree. He said that you was giving low budget. You cut out the first. I don't want to start no drama, but that's what he just said.
Okay.
I mean, that's what it was given. I'm just saying it clicked out the first time and did it again just now live. So
Dad is so tired. Like it don't even matter what he says. So
Listen, the people asked for us to be back, so we can't come back like this, but actually we can because this is really us. Welcome back again to another review recap for Salt Lake City. We had decided to put this show on pause, but after coming together, realizing the season's actually really good, and seeing you all in the comments saying like, no, please don't go. I'm hollering because I think Classy Lady literally said, hell, I'll be on the panel. Add me. And that just tickled me. But nonetheless, there are a lot of channels that actually review Salt Lake City. So the fact that y'all really want to see us, that speaks volume. And so that is why we're here. So we're going to talk about episode 9, which is the latest episode from last night. I know we missed 3 weeks, but we're going to kind of talk about a few of those things too, tie it all in. I mean, one episode can really cover everything. So you know how these housewives do, they beat the dead horse, same situation. So we'll talk about it. But I will say this season has been pretty entertaining still. And based off of the mid-season trailer, it looks like it's going to be an even better rest of the season. So without further ado, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel. As I always say, I see that y'all are obviously subscribed because y'all like that post that it was back and that it was gone. So continue to subscribe and check out Potomac, Beverly Hills. We are going to do Beverly Hills. The panel has been confirmed. The date is either going to be Tuesday, which is right after the show, or Wednesday. We have not decided yet, but by Tuesday, you will know. We usually do, we do Beverly Hills on Wednesdays because it's on Wednesdays, but this year it's on Tuesday. So we're trying to figure out, do we want to keep it on Wednesday regardless, or just do it after the show on Tuesday? Just subscribe and you'll know. All right, so a couple things that has happened thus far in this season that we have missed to talk about. It's a lot of tension going on. Brittany is still around. She got a new boo. Her other boo popped back up on her, or it was a setup by, was it Justin, right? Justin invited him or whatever. I thought that was hilarious. Heather and Mary had a little spat. The last episode that we talked about was actually them two having a moment, and Mary basically told Heather that she leaves a trail of lies. And so at the Mafia Gangsta party, whatever Angie had, they had a whole back and forth. But they ended up, kind of leaving off on a, I guess, another truce or whatever. I don't know. And it left Mary talking to whose kids she talking to on the side of the couch.
One of them was Electra. I don't know who the other kid.
One of them was Electra.
Yeah,
okay.
I don't know who the other one was.
But the biggest thing that's going on that happened that we did not talk about, that we have to talk about, is Lisa versus Justin. So basically, at that same party, Whitney was talking to Lisa, and she told Lisa that it got back to her that she was the person that started the Alibaba rumors or whatever. And this led to Lisa just flipping out, walking over to Justin saying, your wife's a liar. And Justin was like, she's not a liar. She's not a liar. She's not an effing liar, which then caused John to get involved. And, per the audio, Justin said he was going to beat the hell out of John, because basically it de-escalated. And then later on, Lisa came back up, and then Justin said something else. And at this moment, John walked up in Justin's space. So that's where they are. We've never really seen any tension from the husbands. I actually have always prided their husbands because they are kind of boring and lame. But I will say this season, they have actually made this season a lot better. maybe we can start getting the husbands involved. I mean, as Lisa or whoever said, well, not Lisa, what's her name? Kim said, let's talk about the husbands, because when we talk about the husbands, that seems to get things very interesting. So I want to get y'all thoughts on just that. What are y'all raw thoughts on the whole thing with Lisa and Justin? Was Lisa wrong? Was Justin wrong? We find out that later on that they do meet. Justin and John do meet, and John said that Lisa wants an apology, but Justin's like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get that. So, what are y'all thoughts on this whole situation? Because we know back in the day, good old Nene said, "Stop acting like a damn itch," and he walked up on a man, and we always talk about this. So this is another situation. But Antonio, your thoughts?
I don't blame Justin. I don't necessarily think he like walked up on her like he was going, but he did kind of, kind of make himself stand up a little taller. And he was like, she's not a liar. She's not a liar. If me and my spouse are out, if I had one, and and somebody, came up saying, oh yeah, Jamal a liar, and I'm like, no, I'm probably do what, the same thing Justin did. So I don't think he was gonna like be aggressive or assault Lisa or anything like that. But in that situation, I'm okay with him sticking up for, his wife, because I think, we always want real moments and everything on these shows. To me, that was a real moment. Like, that was his genuine reaction to what she was saying. Now, John walking up, I appreciate John for stepping in, because at that point, Justin was involved. So John had to step in, which I'm okay with. Now, granted, John was shaking in his Saint Laurent loafers, because I just don't think John is that type of person to be confrontational. But I think in his mind, he felt like he needed to step up for his wife and say something, because Justin had then, spoke directly to his wife, and he had cussed at her. So I was okay with both of the guys being involved. And I don't think they was trying to be a damn bitch either, as Nene would say. I think that they was pulled into the situation, and they, I feel like Justin was pulled into the situation, and he did what he needed to do. But I also felt like John did what he needed to do to stick up for his wife as well.
Chad?
Yeah, I actually agree. I don't think that it was a situation where the men were trying to be involved. Lisa, the way she just approached that whole situation, going around that room acting crazy. I mean, I really think that Justin was kind of calm compared to what he should have done, because she was literally belligerent, like acting a complete fool. And I mean, if you come in my face doing all that, Justin's response was spot on to me, how you should have responded. I feel like even if Whitney wasn't his wife, if that was just his friend, it's still a thing to like, girl, don't come in my face with all that. So I feel like he responded, properly. And like Antonio said, with him stepping in for his wife, it's only right that John stepped in as well. So, I mean, all of this is Lisa's fault, to be honest.
Was.
Because even though I can understand that Whitney, pissed her off, it still was like, girl, you could have stayed right there at that table with Whitney, going back and forth with her. The extraness was, I mean,
she really lashed out. She lashed.
Right.
She went when she said, "So what are you saying?" And she was like, "That you started the room was." I didn't do that. She just went off. I was just like, Lisa, just say you didn't do it. Like, Jesus Christ. Understand this moment. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie to you. I truly believe that Justin was gonna whoop on John, because
I do too. I think Justin.
I think he just had to have some restraint, because the first time okay, but the second time he was completely. I mean, John was out of line completely, because he walked up and pushed him, actually. And that's why I was like, okay, so if Justin would have hit you back, then it was warranted, because at that moment you walked back up in this space. And that's what I like about when they had their one-on-one, because Justin was like, okay, you know what? I could excuse the first time, but the second time when you came back up to me, you was in my space, especially in a heated moment. You don't really want to be in anybody's space. That's something that we have to be, very cautious of. And I guess it don't really matter in that privilege either, because baby, I don't know what made John think that, but I think Justin was gonna give him some work,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, I don't know. But yeah, I agree with what both of y'all said or whatever about that. So another issue that we know that Heather went over to Bronwin's house, and I'm not gonna lie to you. I like Bronwin, but she need to get them damn dogs. She needs to make sure them dogs need to go to the bathroom outside. She can have as many dogs she wants, but the fact that I am at your house and there is poop on the floor everywhere, that is disgusting. Okay, they got too much money for them dogs not to be trained. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Like, please, that is disgusting. But Heather went over to Bronwin's house, and I really like Bronwin. I'm not gonna lie to you. I have no complaints about her at all, other than maybe her husband. We'll talk about that too. But in this conversation at her house, she invited her over because she was planning the trip for her anniversary, and she was inviting all the girls. I forgot what they called it, but it basically was Palm Springs. I was like, okay, God, Palm Springs again. She started the conversation off with an apology, and she apologized for all these things. And I think she was basically wanting Heather to take some accountability, have some kind of any apology, and she didn't get it. And Heather, instead of giving an apology, she received the whole moment of, you invited me over for me to prove myself to you, to be invited on a trip, and it just went left. The conversation really ended with Bronwin crying on her own couch. Heather stormed out. Heather said, let me excuse myself. She stomped out with her big old feet out the house, and she was gone. So, like, what are y'all thoughts on this whole thing between Heather and Bronwin? Because this all started with Heather trying to say that Bronwin was basically talking mess about Whitney. And as a retaliation, Bronwin went around to Angie and the other girls telling them things that Heather was saying, because realistically, even before it became a storyline, I even said earlier, Heather is like the bone carrier, the bone collector, whatever, this season. And it's kind of like she acts like she doesn't want to start mess, but she actively starts mess. It's kind of, I don't really like it. It's not for her anyway. But what are y'all thoughts on this whole thing between them two? Because that is what leads into what happens in Palm Springs. Chad.
So I don't like that Heather, you can always kind of tell when she's like intimidated by somebody. And I think that she's a little intimidated by Bronwin. I'm not sure what for exactly, but I feel like she has like this weird, like the way she approached the whole situation with even trying to bring Bronwin up to put her on blast. It's just like been like, okay, that was episode 3? And it's like you still are kind of like finding a reason to like drag this out. So I don't know if she just does not like Bronwin. And I mean, I wish she would just say that, because that's what it seems like. But to make it seem like, she's okay with this, she's okay with that, and still like not really taking the accountability when we all seen it, all the stuff you could take accountability for, it's kind of like not the Heather I'm used to. I'm used to Heather being a little more level-headed. So I don't like what she kind of giving this season, especially when it comes to Bronwin.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not a fan of Heather's this season. I wish that Bronwin at this point would kind of stop expecting apologies out of these women. Like Chad said, I just don't think Heather likes her, and I don't think Lisa likes her as much as she maybe likes Lisa as well. So I wish that she would stop expecting apologies from these women. But I do wish that Heather would have kind of knocked the chip off her shoulder a bit and actually, had a conversation. So at least if there wasn't going to be an apology, it could be, okay, I understand then, how I made you feel, so that they could try to move forward. I think when they get to a point like this, it starts to, kind of create division as well. So Heather could have just, sat right there and said, hey, I get it. And also Heather did add a little sauce to what she was, what she was kind of saying as well, because with the playbacks that they've shown, Bronwin didn't Heather tried to make it like Bronwin was just going in on Whitney, and
yes,
Bronwin was vindicated in this a long time ago. Like we saw every flashback they showed, like she literally said everything to Whitney as she did to her face. Like she said everything. So it was just like, I don't know why. I mean, you would think Heather would have been like, damn, I messed up, but she just won't own that. She just wants to make it seem like, someone's being so like whatever to her. And honestly, I'm starting to see a pattern. Like, I feel like Heather, whereas I would think that this would be a trait of like Lisa and the other ladies, I feel like Heather is kind of threatened by a lot of the newbies when they come on the show. Because I mean, this is another, like you would think, like you said, Heather would usually be the most level-headed, but she's not really giving that. I think this whole thing could have been nipped in the bud. All she had to do was say, I apologize for this, assuming you said this or whatever the case may be, and that would have been done on there. I don't think Bronwin wants like a flat out apology for whatever. She just wanted her to take some kind of responsibility for what she did, because she even owned up to saying, I was being messy because this is what you did to me. I was doing it back to you. Is it right? No, but I mean, she owned up to it, and hey, it's Housewives. So these are the kind of conversations you want to see on Housewives when you try to move forward. But Heather is like taking a step in the wrong direction, which is like, no, it's not very becoming of a housewife.
Yeah, I think she's getting a little too big-headed in a sense, because you can tell from the jump that she's always wanted to be like that girl. And like now she's like losing weight. Now she's gaining more fan notoriety, all that stuff. You said what?
Jen's gone.
Like, yeah, it's a few different factors that I feel like she's trying to take advantage of, and the reason why she's acting the way she's acting. But yeah, I don't like it at all.
Okay. So what goes into the next episode, and before we get into the actual current episode, was they were in Palm Springs, and a lot of things happened there or whatever. But the main thing that happened, they were at the pool, and the ladies were all talking about Heather because she wasn't there, she wasn't invited. And I'm actually still gagged the fact that she was not really invited. Like, that's a boss move for somebody to just came on the show. I mean, I get it.
Let it ride. So yeah,
they let it ride. Like, I get it. Heather is single, but this also leads us to believe that next season, if Heather comes back, she needs to be dating. Like, she needs to be actively trying to, not necessarily trying to find a husband, but we need to see her the same way they did Portia and all those women. They need to make her date. Like, she looks as a housewife.
We've never seen her date.
Never. We have not. And we know she like black men. But who don't?
Well, maybe she like black. Maybe she like black.
Exactly. Well, she like that too. But she needs to date. But they were talking about Heather, and just so happens, Bronwin goes to the restroom, and while she goes to the restroom, they're all on the phone with Heather. Bronwin comes back. They're still on the phone with Heather, and Bronwin just flips out on Lisa and everybody, because she's like, y'all know I'm at it with this girl. Y'all already not taking my side. Now y'all calling her on the phone on my trip. Oh, hell no. So she goes off or whatever, and it just leads to this big thing to where Bronwin is starting to see more that Lisa does not really have her back. Because when Heather went back to talk to Lisa and Meredith, she gave her side of the story. She talked about how she stormed out, blah, blah, blah. But I mean, basically the whole thing is that Bronwin feels like Lisa didn't give her the benefit of the doubt. And we have seen a couple of moments where the women that don't really like Lisa, like Angie and Whitney, are saying things about Lisa like she's a user and that she wants what you have. And we've seen Bronwin actively say, that's what you're saying, but I don't believe that that's her. Like, and she even said one thing. She said, I was like, girl, you really are supportive of Lisa. She says that you got to support Lisa for who she is. And I know, like, we all have friends like that. I feel like it's in our lives. Like, I have one friend. I'd be like, child, that's my friend, but I know what he can give, and I feel like that's the friend for her. That's the friend Lisa is to her. So after that happens, first of all, her husband is like, if they don't stop, they gotta go. And he tells John, and this is how we get into the current episode. So John talks to Lisa. And he tells Lisa about the conversation, and basically, of course, they don't want to leave. I thought she was gonna be like, I'm getting the hell out of here. But honey, she wanted to be on that trip for whatever reason. It was paid for on the jet, whatever. Now John tells her that maybe y'all should have a separate private conversation minus everybody around. They go to lunch, and Lisa does the exact opposite. I mean, immediately she does the exact opposite.
I was so shocked.
She literally.
How was it?
She literally.
I just knew that she wasn't gonna do that. They just walked out the room. He said, "Now, honey, let's do it. Y'all make sure y'all do it when no one's around." So they're around. She brings it up, and Whitney gets involved because Lisa makes a comment about lying. Whitney says, I'm not lying, or whatever. And the husbands get involved again. So John kind of pretty much takes over and says, Whitney, like, just ask my wife, do you think she did it? And then Lisa says no. He's like, all right, we done. And so then he goes in this whole spiel about how she's not a liar.
Lisa's not a liar. She's never lied about anybody. She's never been mean to anybody. And Sean, who is Angie's husband, says, well, not really. I listen to these conversations all the time, and she's very abusive. That's the exact word. She's very abusive to my wife. You know, Angie over there like,
my man.
We don't really see, like last season was all about Sean. We don't really see much about Sean. I ain't gonna lie, I like Sean, you know, in many ways. I find Sean to be very interesting, you know. We'll talk about that too.
I'm interested.
Listen, Angie, if they want a third person, you know, I'll do it. I don't know. I deal with it just because of
what Phaedra was saying.
Listen. Baby, I would do it. Speaking of Sean, hey Sean in the chat.
Oh goodness.
But to finish this scene, basically they Lisa makes another comment, and it's basically in this moment she feels like Sean is coming at her, and she's like, why is her husband talking to me? And I'm like, why are you talking to everybody else's husband? Like, it's the same thing. So how about y'all just stop altogether? Any thoughts on this scene, the whole back and forth between, you know, Lisa, Whitney, Sean, John taking up for his wife? I like John, but John is, someone said in the chat, he's definitely an enabler. He knows his wife, but good God. I mean, I don't think Lisa needs to be enabled anymore. Mind you, me and Chad were like Lisa's #1 fans. Yeah. Not because she used to watch this show, and she may still do, but because she was like so great. And we always said we wanted her to, you know, live in her true villain era, but this is kind of like overkill. It happened, and it just went like way crazy for me. Antonio.
I thought it was funny. Like, and they had just had the conversation, and the man already threatened to put y'all out. And Lisa, it was kind of to me given like, okay, well, if you bad, then make me leave. That's kind of what it was given, because Lisa was given, I'm gonna say what I got to say. The funniest part to me though, also I was shocked that Sean kind of said something, because typically he don't really get involved like that. So I was kind of shocked that he even said something, but Todd was ready to get up and go. Todd was like, I'm going to the room, or wherever he said he was going, and Bronwin was like, no, just give it a few minutes. I'm like, girl, what they gonna keep arguing? Like, I don't what you want him to say for? He was so over it. That was something. That was something. And John thinking that he's just solved this problem with one question. He is just as delusional as his wife is.
I feel like John is not necessarily an enabler. I feel like he's just like a beta male. I saw somebody had commented that. I was on the thread earlier, and I was like, you know what? I think that's what he is, because Lisa literally runs that house. She runs him. She runs the house. She runs, like, when I looked back at conversations, like, she literally leads the conversations, and then everything is like, right, you know, like she's one of those people that she says things and just lets him say yes. But I don't know. I feel like him doing the whole it's done. I was happy he did it, because I was sick and tired of those two with that whole liar conversation. Like, it's literally been stretched out from that dinner party from Angie's mafia party all the way to this. I was like, okay, I'm sick of hearing about it. Like, it was getting draining. So I was happy he did that. Hopefully they left it there, because I don't want to hear about it no more. And all in all, Whitney never denied that the stuff was from Alibaba. So it's like, girl, we still didn't get no resolution really with it at the end of the day, whether Lisa said it or whether she didn't. I'm just tired of it. And I'm sure the stuff's still not selling. So it's like, girl,
and she's
doing all this.
Getting her shipments from Alibaba. So
let's move.
You're right. I mean, where's the Vita tequila coming from? I don't know. Is it coming from Alibaba too? They said it on there too. We don't know.
I don't know. I know it's mediocre though. I
had some, and I had some in Salt Lake City.
No, I was talking about what Todd said about
Todd. What Todd said. Oh,
he said it was mediocre tequila.
Todd don't like them people, and I worry for Bronwin, because I know they film, but I feel like if she don't come back next season, it's probably because of him.
Yeah.
Because he don't like them people. He made very, very verbal comments about them people. I think he's just doing it for her. So I hope that she's able to come back next season,
or he just won't really be around next season if she does come back.
He ain't gonna have no choice the way this season ended for her. I don't know. He ain't gonna have no choice. I see a couple of comments too. Quick thing too. from Zeta. Zeta gave a super chat of $49. I gotta take my bra off for that. Hold on. No, thank you, Zeta. Celebrating y'all return for Salt Lake City. Thank you, Zeta. It's not that we wanted to stop the season. It's just that the availability was just crazy. So we want to make sure that we're consistent. I like to be consistent in everything that we do. And so seeing the comments and y'all saying, have the show, whatever. And like I said, Classy Lady, the VIP, saying that she will be on the panel. Classy Lady, you may have to join the panel because you said it. Now you put it out there, so you may have to come on and join. So just saying. But thank you, Zeta, for the super chat and always supporting us too. My best friend Torian said Lisa is controversial, but she's necessary and good TV. It's important to the plot.
Oh, for sure.
I agree. I will never. I don't think she should leave, but there just has to be levels to it. So maybe since it's at such a peak this season, next season she'll simmer down a little bit because it is kind of unbearable to continue to watch her be this way all the time. Like she can't be that delusional. And that, I don't believe that. And like
Lisa,
you said,
to me,
like
has
Jen
gotten
Shaw
worse every season. Though.
It's like Jen Shaw.
It's like Jen Shaw.
Jen Shaw. I'm not even lying to you. She's the new Jen Shaw minus the charges and the fine husband. But she's the new Jen Shaw. It's like Lisa Shaw. I don't know, which is somebody that she used to Shaw. Have an issue with. All right, so
but didn't we didn't we always say that though, that Lisa? You could tell that Lisa and Jen kind of had like a battle of like the power, but Jen was just so much to where Lisa really couldn't lean in that role even if she wanted to if Jen was there. She had to have waited till Lisa. At this point, Lisa might have been the one to tip them people off.
We should have known.
Like, I need to take over this show.
When she went off on Meredith, that whole little hot mic moment, we should have known then that this Lisa would soon come. Because Jesus. Now, because of Lisa, everybody knows that Meredith was having sex with people in New York or whatever.
The whole New York, and it's a lot of
people. The whole New York. Everybody, the whole world knows that thanks to Lisa Barlow.
Meredith was throwing that thing around the Big Apple.
Okay, she was spreading it wide, like
laying it low and spreading
wide.
Allegedly,
yes. So then we switch gears, and this scene was so weird to me. I wish they would have showed it because I love my black people, but my God, Mary and her son and his wife, girlfriend, whatever. She went into their room and they sitting on the bed, eating snacks, feeding each other crab legs and dipping in the sauce and all type of spaghetti and catfish. They eating all in the bed, and she's just trying to have this conversation with them about just how they should, brush their teeth, maybe comb your hair, just things that we all do. I'm about to do mine right after this video, right? Or I did before. And they just sitting there feeding each other. It's just kind of weird. We know that he has like some kind of, is it drugs or is it like alcohol?
They haven't said.
It's definitely drugs because he was in a drug rehabilitation center.
Oh, it was a drug rehab. Okay, I know it was rehab. I didn't know which one. Okay, so yeah. So the drugs make sense the way he was looking on it.
Well, the way they was eating. Mm-hmm. Something was going on. It wasn't just weed. I don't know. But then again, I don't know nothing about drugs, so I can't speak on what people do when they're on drugs. I don't know. I don't
know nothing about that lifestyle.
That's not me. I just do my hookah and I do little Tito's and little vodka and I go on. I don't do the rest of that stuff. Any thoughts on this? So y'all want to just save until we get to it? Because it looks like she's gonna talk about it more as the season goes on. That seems to be her focus. She's not on the trip, and I'm kind of glad she wasn't. Like I would love her to have been there, but she would have been in an awkward place too. I think it was perfect for the couples just to be there personally.
Mm-hmm.
Any thoughts here?
I just didn't like to see him like that because it's just. It's just heartbreaking because you can tell that sometimes, like when they have those scenes, you can kind of be like, okay, something's wrong. But with this, it's like you can physically see that something is wrong with him, and it's even to me, it's even rubbed off on the wife because she seemed like something is wrong with her too. So I'm like, what is going on with y'all? Like, I hated to see that.
Yeah, to me, it's given the wife is the one that's doing stuff. Because I don't know if y'all, I watched it again before we got on, and there was a point where she was reaching for something, and he kind of
grabbed her hand,
like it was like a bait or something like that. So I was like, was she finna hit that while Sister Mary was in the room?
I don't know,
You
baby.
know, it was. And
I
you
saw
can tell Mary really loves him and she wants the best for him. I mean, it's like her only kid, but he, to me, on that, he was clearly, impaired.
Like out of there, yeah.
Doing that, it looked like it was like they maybe was eating pizza before and they saved the end part of the crust. And
I saw crab legs. You ain't see no crab legs?
I didn't see no crab leg.
I saw some crab.
It was bread, some kind of bread or dough or something. I don't know.
It's like they was dipping the crab leg into the sauce and with the potato and the corn. That's what I saw. Maybe I'm a little blind sometimes, so don't listen to me. But
and then as Mary walking in the room, the wife gonna say, "Oh, you look so cute." Like, girl, get out of here.
I said, "Is that sudden? I didn't dip and sudden up in there. Is that sudden little legs in there? I don't know."
Crazy.
Mary did look cute though. That little way photo was very cute.
All right, so then we go back to the trip. It's Bronwin's anniversary party. It's not just them there. There are also other guests that she invited. She has her $40,000 necklace. Was that right?
4 million.
4 million.
Oh, I'm sorry. I missed that. Oh, so 4 million.
Yes.
Necklace. My bad. Whitney and Angie shading Seth and his hat because he got on a Brooks hat, and they shading his hat on the side. And so Bronwin, she gives a speech, kind of on like why she loves Todd, and Todd ain't really got nothing to say back why he loved her. I thought they was. I know it's a celebration. I don't know if Todd is just really annoyed by this whole group that he just is like whatever, but he still didn't say anything because it's still y'all anniversary thing. So make the best of it. Plus you're on camera. Just put save the funk. That's what I would do for my wife. But then Angie comes with a game. She's called the Newlywed Game or whatever. And she asks the questions like who apologizes first. So apparently Lisa, Bronwin, Whitney, and Sean all apologize first. They talk about favorite sex positions, and Lisa's like, "Oh my God, it's so private." But apparently we find out that Lisa, not only does she like to ride the D, she likes to bounce on the D. And I was like, I know that's right, Lisa. That's my kind of girl. I knew we was together somewhere, right? Whitney and Justin, I mean, I'm not surprised. We saw them rolling around in paint and cake and stuff. So I know it probably just be all type of nasty up in there. But hey, whatever. Justin, Whitney, that's what they do. Then they talk about the wife. What I thought it was the wife's least favorite person, but it becomes individual least favorite person. I think because Angie and Sean both say Meredith or whatever. Bronwin and John say Lisa or whatever, and so then Whitney takes this moment to say, "Well, Lisa, I just want to know, do you still think Justin is owed an apology?" They both apologized to each other, so for that, and I thought that was good. That was a good moment. But Meredith says, "Well, actually, I apology too, because the last time we met, Sean, I talked to you. I apologized to you about what happened. The things that basically she was accused of last year. She apologized for, even though she said she didn't do it, which I mean, I don't think she did anyway. But Sean was like, well, this is one thing that pisses me off more than anything because I thought we was good. And so they go back and forth because he's like, he didn't say anything about Brooks or whatever. Side note, that wind was beating their ass. Okay.
It was.
That wind, everybody's hair was, thank God this was not Housewives of Atlanta. We would have seen all type of stuff. Or Potomac. Thank God it was not one of our good Black Queen shows because Lord, that hair was just moving. Not saying they don't have none of their hair either, but I mean, I don't know. And so he talks about that, denies saying it, and then Whitney's like, "Where's the proof? Where's the proof?" Seth pulls out his phone, he reads out the article. Biatch.
Baby, that took me out.
And I'm not gonna lie to you, I thought that was the most awkward thing I've ever seen in a long time. Because I was like, Whitney said it took everything in her not to jump across the table and beat Seth's ass. That's what she said. And I was like, oh my God. And I said, you know what?
Wait, she did say that?
Yeah.
Yeah, she said it took everything in her not to jump across the table and beat his butt, his ass. Yes. And I said, Seth, you don't realize you just messed up. She finna hold on to this. She finna play this play this out for a season or two. My God. Especially after we just got through talking about the whole husband thing. And I'm surprised Justin didn't say anything. Like,
Very.
I'm so surprised. I was like, okay, so maybe John is the right kind of husband I want, because John would have been like, he would have said something, whether he was
Nervous
scared
and
or not.
all.
Justin didn't say nothing. But Meredith is still going off. Seth explains, it's not Seth, Sean explains what he meant by it. You know, and Angie was like, that was just quick, clickbait. You know, the whole article, if you go and watch or listen to it, you'll see that I said nothing about him. He still denies it. So any thoughts on this scene, Antonio?
I thought the game was kind of fun, but I knew it was going to eventually get, a little, shady, and then it, kind of came up. It was funny though when Sean had wrote Meredith's name, he didn't really know how to spell it, so he had just put MAR, and that was kind of funny to me. But Seth doing that, to me, that was a little overboard. And even the statement that he read, Sean still didn't say anything about Brooks. I mean, I get that he kind of maybe put Brooks' name in it, but he didn't necessarily just say anything about him. So that and him in the biatch, Sean should have been on his head. Like, I mean, not Sean, I'm sorry. Justin should have been on Seth's head when Seth said that. Windmilling the shit out of him in that very moment. Because I definitely would have been trying. Like, that was crazy to me. Like, you said that to Lisa, and I guess maybe he was just thinking like, okay, I'm gonna try to not get involved. But this was really your time to be involved, because this was a man, calling your wife the B word. So yeah.
I think Seth is also one of the husbands that doesn't say much, of anything. And at this point, I think that it could be a mixture of things. It could be a thing to where we didn't see everything that was actually being said at that moment, so why he reacted that way. And then also too, Whitney is just annoying. If you sitting there just continuously, where's the proof, where's the proof, where's the proof, like that would annoy the hell out of me. And then especially is like, I think that even though I think it was a little overboard that he did the whole biatch thing, at the end of the day, that's still my child. And I feel like at the end of the day, if my wife feels like you said something and you dragged my child into this or whatever, then I'm gonna ride for my wife. So I feel like his response to Whitney was, yes, overboard, but at the same time still warranted, because she's just annoying, and that probably was what he needed to do to get her to calm down. Yeah. On top of that, I agree with both sides when it came to Meredith and Sean. I think that Sean stood 10 toes down and was like, I didn't say nothing about Brooks, so I'm not going to give you an apology. But Meredith also reiterated, I want to say I counted 3 times, okay, so you didn't say anything. Still, I told you how that made me feel. And I think that that's where people get apologies mixed up these days. Just because you claim you didn't say it, even if you didn't say it, I'm still telling you. And she was verbal. She told him it made me feel away, or whatever, that, this is what was said. So I understood both sides. And I wish that they could have gotten a resolve, a genuine resolve, but it is what it is. But still Team Meredith, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame Whitney for asking for proof, because if Sean said I didn't say nothing, they saying you said something, it's kind of like, okay, well, go ahead and put the shit on the table then. Like, what is it? Now, I guess because it is Whitney, I can get how that would have gotten on people's nerves, because she's just very annoying. But I don't blame her for asking about the proof, being that one was saying one thing and the other side was saying something different. So
I think for that, like, I was like, at first I thought it was just a general biatch, but when he said afterwards that it was at Whitney, because she kept asking, which I guess she's annoying, but it was just like someone said in the chat, I don't think it was like the right time and place, especially considering that we got a lot of husbands that have already had issues anyway. So, but they said Seth wasn't privy to that conversation, but still, it was just like, I don't know if it was this. I would have just been like, this is the proof. I wouldn't have to go into biatch. But Seth, no, honestly, Seth is a lot of things this season, and I read like one of those little Twitter accounts that talks about like blind items, where they was talking about like they give like all these little tips about stuff going on, but they don't say names. And they said that some couple was like headed for divorce, blah blah. I believe they actually are headed for divorce. Not just they didn't say Meredith, but I believe that that's who they're referring to. And if not, they can have some problems on the way, because I mean, they kind of going back to where they were, because it was given it like 2 or 3 seasons ago. I can't remember what season it was, but he's now away a lot or whatever for work. And it seems like Meredith doesn't like that. It seems like it's actually making her like an emotional wreck. Maybe we're not seeing it, but she don't really see it like that.
I also think too that Seth's response was, because I don't believe that. I watched it again today. I don't believe that Whitney asking for proof was in good faith. If she was asking for proof just to put it on the table, cool. But her and Angie are so, buddy buddy this season. Angie and Whitney are so buddy buddy this season. And I
Yeah.
feel like Whitney doing that was because she really didn't believe Meredith. I don't think that she was saying, like, just put it on the table so we can calm it down. And I think that Seth picked up on it. I think that Seth and Meredith are both very intelligent, and they picked up on that she was just trying to, you know, take sides. I still don't think Whitney was being genuine.
Yeah, this is alleged, obviously, Michelle, but I think so too. I do think Seth may be doing some stuff. I don't know. When he was trying to leave that trip, I get it for work, but he was definitely trying to get the hell up out of there. And I was just like, okay, he really trying to get out of here. Like, he's trying to leave, like.
And it was the next day, right?
Yeah, he was trying to leave. They got there. He was trying to leave the next morning. Now we find out he obviously stays a little later than he was supposed to. But yeah, it's something there, but we can't really unpack it right now until we get more evidence. And we lost Antonio. Maybe he'll come back.
Oh, we did.
My Lord, today. But to end this scene off, Angie tries to lighten the mood. And she says, like, let's talk about something that's more light, that's lighter, that's like a little more friendly, like Bronwin, your daughter, get it back in contact with her grandparents. And Todd is just like, no, let's not. Bronwin tries to speak on it. He's just like, no, I don't want to talk about it. You know how it makes me feel. Shut it down. And he just makes her look, I hate that he did that to her at the table because it just didn't look good for them, but he shut it down completely or whatever.
He's back.
Huh?
I didn't put do not disturb on my phone, so when it rings, it like messes it up. So it's not low budget. I'm just in high demand right now, and people are calling.
Oh, yeah, low budget. I'm just in high demand. I get it.
Okay, tagline.
Okay, new tagline for the cabin next year. Make sure you write that down. All right. So then the next day, Seth does stay longer. They go to the racetracks or whatever it is that they went to where they first met. They got like this VIP whole treatment or whatever. And they trying to hook Heather up with a man. The man has kids, so thank God for him, because Heather, she's a very attractive woman now, but still, no, not in this current light. Bronwin and Lisa try to have a conversation, but I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm glad they stopped, because maybe even I couldn't hear. I don't know if they turned the audio up for editing purposes, but I can only imagine if it was loud for them. Jesus, I mean, loud for us. I know it was loud for them, so it didn't happen. They get back to the house. Seth leaves. Seth is always so antsy. That's a weird husband, man. As I watch him, he is very strange in some ways. I'll just say that. I don't know. I just watch him. He's just so antsy and things like that. It's kind of
like he always on permanent caffeine.
Yeah, like it's so weird. He's like, can you do my collar? Yeah, let's go. He just so, it's weird. He give, he remind me of like a white pootie tang. Like he always moving. It's weird. So as they get ready to go, the girls get ready, and I will say, everyone's getting ready. Sean and Angie are by the pool. This is actually my favorite scene. I will say Sean and Angie are actually a great couple. When you look at them visually, they are a nice couple, but I couldn't help but just continue to look. As I was watching Angie by the pool, I saw Sean sitting on the little, the beach, the little chair, and he had his legs open. And I just couldn't stop looking right there. I don't know. It was just a great view. Like Palm Springs is nice, but Sean Springs was even better. I'm so sorry. It's been a while, but yeah, I was like, Sean. I mean, I thought Sean was attractive anyway, but I was just like, okay, Sean, I see you up here. Whitney joins, and of course they bring up the whole biatch thing. Sean feels like he basically was calling the women bitchs. Whitney is just appalled, and that's how I said, that Whitney's finna drag this out for a very long time. Any thoughts on this scene? Anything here?
I hope Whitney don't drag it out, because Meredith clearly be over Whitney. She don't give her nothing, so it's kind of like, even if she does want to drag this out, it's gonna be like, girl, you wasting your time, because Meredith's not gonna give you much. But all in all, I thought it was very interesting how Sean was like, yeah, he basically was calling y'all, the B words, and I'm sitting there like, yeah, that's exactly what it was. I was like, dude, you not really understand what that meant. Like, I was kind of confused in a sense, but all in all, I was like, it was a good episode nonetheless. But I do want to say that I don't know, I could be in the minority, but Angie K has really grown on me so much. I
I will say
really,
the
really
same
like her.
thing. It's crazy that
Very
I like
crazy.
have. I mean, we last season we used to be like, oh, Angie K, Angie K, Angie K. But this season, I don't know. She's like so perfectly placed, and
Yes.
she's actually kind of fun.
Mhm.
I still can't stand her voice because she sounds like she's about to
I agree.
gamble or
Sounds like she got like a lot of spit in her mouth or
It's
something.
always very like
It's
cotton
something.
balls and stuff in there, but I do like Angie K. And
Yeah.
I will say this season I've grown to like her a lot more just than ever. So I'm glad that she's there, and I'm even not even just for her because her husband is there. Um, dang, that's all I can say about that. That's all I can say about that. Oh, Sean. Okay, so Bronwin and Lisa have their chat, and the conversation basically just doesn't go in Bronwyn's favor. She just wants something from Lisa to show, not even just about Heather. She says she doesn't want to make it a her versus Heather thing, but she just wants Lisa to, have her side, or at least give her the benefit of the doubt when someone says negative things about her. But it sounds like Lisa won't say that. She literally will not, even to the point to where she asks her if she's two-faced. Because she said that Heather called her conniving and two-faced. And she's like, can you say I'm not two-faced? And Lisa's like, well, Ron was like, oh, it's taking too long for you to answer. And so Lisa just keeps saying in circles that she's happy to be there to support, but she's not giving Bronwyn what she wants, and so they end up hugging. But we know that this relationship is basically over. It's been 3 instances now where they have shown an issue, and I'm sure by the reunion it's going to be interesting. But I do like the way that Bronwyn handles Lisa, because Lisa doesn't really fumble with her words much. But I will say when she's having a conversation with Bronwyn, she doesn't really know what to say, and she holds back on just saying anything. Where she's talking to Whitney or Heather, somebody who she knows that she's like up here to, she would have just lashed out and made it all about whatever. One thing I laughed in this scene was when she asked her, so Bronwyn was trying to explain what she was feeling, and Lisa said, okay, well, tell me how you feeling. And she was like, well, let me tell you how I'm feeling. I was just like, Lisa.
She gonna make it about her.
She didn't even give, and then Bronwyn was like, okay, just go ahead, like you got it. Because she would not let her speak. But any thoughts on this whole thing? I just can't believe that Lisa, I mean, we know how Lisa and Heather used to be. Let's just go back to season 1. Lisa did not like Whitney or Heather, but she is really riding for Heather. But in this whole moment, it looks like Bronwyn and Lisa are going to be done. Any thoughts here?
I think that the Monica situation really made Heather and Lisa really like click, because I remember Monica, I still follow Monica on everything, and every chance she gets, she like blasts something that happens on the show or something that they said. And Monica said she ran into Heather and Lisa out shopping, and she was like, she would have never imagined to see them out shopping together without cameras. So I was like, clearly they got closer like after that whole situation happened. And I don't know, I feel like they're in that season of, okay, now we know we on this show, we know we getting more notoriety by the season, let's just do what we have to do to make it work. I don't even really think that the core 4, Meredith, Lisa, Whitney, and I don't think they have really any real problems for her. I think the little minute stuff, I think they keep it for the show at this point. Because Heather and Lisa, I just really can't believe that they are where they are, like, at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially to have Lisa kind of going against Bronwyn, because it doesn't seem like to me Lisa and Bronwyn's situation was one of those situations where it was like, oh, I've kind of met this person, so I'm going to bring them in on the show. It did seem like they had a legit rapport, prior to her coming on the show. So I don't know if Lisa's kind of playing into the whole, oh, well, I won't give her too much this season. And then next season, we'll have a reason to come back around and come together. I'm not for sure what Lisa's angle is, but yeah, it's still odd to me, her and the close friendship that she has with Heather. I don't get it. I don't know if it's authentic either, but I know I do feel like, especially with Heather, I feel like either one of them is willing to do whatever it is that they have to do to stay on that show, whether they need the money or not. They like being on TV.
Yes, they like
So
being
they're
on
going to do what they
TV.
do.
I agree. I completely agree. Any other thoughts on that if I move to the last little piece, which is basically nothing? So they leave. Well, they're about to leave. And Bronwin bought everyone flights. But as Angie realizes that she's sitting in 19C, Lisa realized she's sitting in 17A. And she just flips out because she says that she don't wear a coach. She don't fly coach. She ain't flew coach since she was
in high school,
high school, college, whatever she said. And she was just like, we're gonna be so basic. Oh my God. It's like, damn, girl, let me tell you something. I still fly coach, so I'm still in touch with reality, whatever. But she just basically, she's even willing to have a layover and get home way later than ride 47 minutes or 50 minutes or basically an hour to get back to Salt Lake City. There are no flights. Poor John is looking all over through whatever airline, to see if there's anything that they can sit in business class at least. But it's not, because I guess the plane, I'm sure the plane they're on is very small. It's probably one of those little planes, because she said it's 4 seats in first class. So I've been on those planes before. They're very small.
Very.
I'm sure this will be an issue soon too. But that basically is all for the episode. I'm not gonna lie to you, Heather was not there and Heather was not missed.
I agree.
I'm not saying she needs to be gone, but it's always interesting when someone is not present. And you be like, dang, they went there. And even Mary, like I love Mary, but her not being there, I was just like, I forgot about her. If they didn't put that scene, I would have forgot. I'm not gonna lie to you. I would have forgot.
I had totally forgot about Brittany.
Thank God.
I still forgotten about Brittany. So
God. But yes, this whole coach thing reminds me of definitely needing her white refrigerator comment, because it was like, okay, so I guess everybody's now gonna be to my coach. Not me, because I'm gonna be in coach when I fly home in a few weeks.
Yeah.
Okay. And I might even be in 40D.
I still got my coach backpack. They better leave me alone.
Okay, I like Coach. Actually, Coach makes, let me tell you something, Coach, it's a lot of brands, but Coach makes some really quality products still.
The best leather.
And
the best leather you're gonna buy.
The goods are still going, so they last. So you can loot your good product all you want, but that stuff gonna rip at some point.
look, that's a fan. That's a fan and the industry fact, because the industry don't lie. Coach been #1 for 25 years straight.
Boots. On that note, I put the link in the chat. We can quickly talk about the mid-season trailer. It looks like it's going to be really good. We see that Bronwin and Todd are going to be having some problems. We're going to see more light on their relationship or whatever. First of all, Todd is an older man, and I mean that just has to say something. Let's just
older and set in his ways.
Correct.
I mean, I'm not surprised, and he also is on something that he doesn't want to see. He doesn't like he want to be a part of. So it's like, whatever. I know that's right, Kid Creddy. My second job was at Coach, and the panel is a lot. Listen, don't sleep on Coach. Don't sleep on Coach, the leather goods or Coach seats, okay? Because some of them Coach seats, if you get a what's it called, emergency exit seat, baby, you got a lot of room.
Them legs out.
Okay. We see that tension grows between Angie and Lisa. Like Angie threw something at Lisa, and I'm like, oh. Hey, you know what Angie said? Angie said the first time I threw my chair, it didn't make no noise, but this time I'm gonna make sure it makes noise. So hopefully we see, something good of it. We see more about Mary and her son. He's like emotional, so that's gonna be something. And then we find out that there is a recording device planted in Meredith's room. They made it seem like it's Brittany, but I'm pretty sure it's probably Brittany revealing that she's still been texting the Osmond man. I'm pretty sure it wasn't her.
I feel like it's Whitney.
Whitney planning it.
She seemed like she would do something like that.
She do seem like
maybe.
Yeah.
Well, I hope it don't turn into the whole thing from Housewives of Atlanta with the audio man, because
the audio.
What's her name? From CAU, that bitch. What's her name?
Giovanna.
I hope it don't turn into that, because that could just be a whole mess. And we also don't want anything like what's happening on Real Housewives of New York right now, because that is a whole hot line planned storyline mess, and it's crazy. I mean, please, Salt Lake City, you've had a good season. Do not end the season off with some bull. I'm just saying.
Okay.
So
Andy did say on Watch What Happens Live last night that we were going to see more of the story with Mary and her son.
Yeah, he did.
it looks like she was talking to Angie. She says she has to focus more on her family, and it seems to be her focus. I like that she's giving us this. She's being open. She's being transparent, because I mean, this is not something that you just want to put out there about your child. And so maybe we see more, we learn more about her, and it doesn't come off as like an exploitation, like to where she's exploiting. Because I mean, had this been Mia, baby, it would have been a whole different way.
I found it interesting that they didn't put the Mary versus Meredith in the mid-season trailer.
I said the same thing, so I hope they don't cut that. But I do remember seeing that in the first trailer.
Where Meredith had them little bangs.
And Mary told her to get out of her house.
It sure did. It's still crazy to me though that Mary and Angie really seem like they are like friends in real life, because Angie was talking last night on Watch What Happens Live, and she was like, "Oh, I was at Mary's house and
before I came here."
Yeah, and she gave her a necklace to wear and stuff like that. I was like,
it's so crazy, because
everybody, I never would have thought that's who Mary would have kind of
gravitated toward.
Yeah. Especially after when she met her, she was like, "Who is Angie? Like don't talk to me. Go over there." But Mary has turned over a new leaf. I like the person that she is. She still clearly is herself. But I don't know. I'm still enjoying Mary. She's definitely a housewife. I want to see her definitely more with the group. So hopefully I want to see about her son, but I want to see more her with the ladies still, and just interactions, because I mean, her and Heather had that little thing. Of course, she don't like Brittany, but
said, "Don't you dare."
Okay, she said, "Don't you dare." That was big. They remind me of the Braxtons. What's her name, Mama?
Miss Evelyn.
Like, say something else. I got you.
Heather tried to use that F word in Mary's face, and Mary said, "Don't you dare."
Don't you know how this show is said? Everybody said an effing liar. That seems to be the word this season, an effing liar. A liar. But yeah, that's all. I put the link in the chat. I didn't see any callers. So with that being said, that's okay. Listen, y'all came in, y'all showed out tonight. We came back because we enjoyed the show, but also for y'all, so.
Wait, how you do that?
The
hearts came out of Antonio.
I think it's an iPhone thing.
Well, I'm on an iPad, so maybe I need to learn.
Well, but did I say iPad or did I say iPhone? What did I say?
They interchangeable.
Not yours.
Okay.
Yeah. What is that? Don't you dare.
Don't you dare. Don't you dare.
Thank y'all for watching. Like this video. We'll be here next week as well. The holidays are coming up, so we know that obviously knowing that in 2 weeks Thanksgiving is on a Thursday. We won't be here on that Thursday. We'll be eating whatever we eat. But we'll figure out the schedule for that. Maybe by next Thursday we'll know. Make sure y'all watch Potomac next Monday, and then for the Beverly Hills fans, we'll be back next week. It'll either be Tuesday right after the show. It used to come on Wednesdays, but they moved it to Tuesdays for whatever reason. Or it'll be on Wednesdays our regular time. So subscribe, and you'll know exactly when we'll be here. Okay. Thank you, Antonio. Thank you, Chad, and thank y'all for watching that. Okay. You have a good night.
Peace.